It appears Joaquin Phoenix is out to leave a few patently unhappy faces on the Warner Brothers bosses who financed Joker. Though the film has danced its way to nearly $1 billion at the box office since hitting theaters, Phoenix, whose entrancing performance as the deeply disturbed man behind the iconic Batman villain that has driven much of the film's success, is reportedly not quite as on board with a return engagement as one might think. If his comments in a recent interview with the Los Angeles Times are any indication, his participation in a potential Joker sequel is far from a given. The actor explained, "I guess the fear was that you'd get locked into doing something repeatedly that you don't really care about, that doesn't motivate you or excite you. Part of the whole attraction to me of Joker was there was no expectation. I didn't sign a deal to do more films, it was a one-off. I wouldn't just do a sequel just because the first movie is successful. That's ridiculous." The Times interview comes a full month after the release of Joker, which has become the highest-grossing R-rated movie of all time, is on track to join the billion-dollar movie club in the very near future, and is fully expected to be a major player come awards season. Needless to say, success like that has led to a lot of talk around a franchise-obsessed Hollywood about whether or not there will be a sequel to Joker. Phoenix, who somehow managed to never appear in any sort of sequel across a career of nearly 4 decades, has remained clear that a return to the twisted mind of Arthur Fleck isn't out of the question, but he's been just as adamant that it'll take another truly compelling story to get him to suit up for any Joker sequel. It's also pretty clear that simply flashing some extra green in Phoenix's face won't do. The actor's statement implies he's definitely not in it just for the money. Still, he admitted that he had talked a bit with Joker director Todd Phillips about a follow-up movie, saying, "Long before the release or before we had any idea if it would be successful, we talked about sequels. In the second or third week of shooting, I was like, Todd, can you start working on a sequel? There's way too much to explore." It was kind of in jest, but not really.
It seemed endless, the possibilities of where we could go with the character.
The actor went on to share that he'd even gone so far as to make mock posters for a Joker follow-up, photoshopping the character into some of the greatest movies of all time. He explained, "I basically said, you could take this character and put him in any movie. So I did a photo shoot with the on-set photographer and we made posters where I photoshopped Joker into 10 classic movies. Rosemary's Baby, Raging Bull, Yentl. If you see it, you're like, yeah, I'd watch that movie. Yentl with Joker? That would be amazing." Director Todd Phillips seems equally ambivalent about signing on for a follow-up film. In the same Times piece, he insinuated that the fate of a Joker 2 may hinge entirely on the return of both actor and director. The director admitted that they haven't talked much about it at all, adding, "We've only talked about the fact that if we ever did one, and I'm not saying we are because right now we're not, it couldn't just be this wild and crazy movie about the clown prince of crime. That just doesn't interest us. I think the reason why Joker is resonating is what's going on underneath the movie. So many movies are about the spark, and this movie is about the powder. If you could capture that again in a real way, that would be interesting." The real question becomes whether or not Phoenix and Phillips can find as much intrigue in the explosion as they did in the simmering fuse that is Joker. Either way, the fire is still burning for more. Here's hoping that actor and director can both find something interesting in the flames. Check out one of our newest videos right here. Plus, even more Looper videos about your favorite stuff are coming soon. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one.